Those of you that are struggling with praying, or you don't feel like praying and your mom's nagging you and telling you, come on, get up, pray. You're on vacation, what excuse do you have? Let's go to the masjid. And you're dragging your feet and you're like, come on, get off my case already. This is annoying. And even when you're praying, you're rolling your eyes after you say Allahu Akbar, you're like, this is what you're doing. Your parent, let me talk to the parents for a second. If you forced your children to pray, or you pressured them and nagged them into praying, and they somehow prayed, and they're 13, 14, 15 years old, you might feel better, but they don't. And this religion is actually not about what is happening on the outside. The essence of this religion is what is happening on the inside. So just because you see a behavior that you would like to see, that actually doesn't mean that we have accomplished something good with our children. That's, in a sense, it's good, but it's artificial. It's on the outside. It's like a tree, like a beautiful tree, but it's hollow on the inside. Allah describes the core of this religion as asluha thabit wa far'uha fis sama. Right? Its essence is like a tree, like the roots are deep and firm, and then its branches go into the sky. When any human being is lazy about praying, and I'm not talking about 3 or 4-year-olds, and I'm not talking about 6-year-olds. I'm talking about children that are now cognitive. They can ask intelligent questions. They're smart. You guys can, the dad and the son or the daughter can play the same level video game. They can watch the same TV show. So they're at an ability where they can comprehend things at a higher level. They have some of the same interests that you have. If you're watching a game on TV, they're watching it with you, right? So they're not, at some things, they're at the same intellectual capacity as you. Of course, they're children. Their brains haven't fully developed yet, but they're still lesser. But at some level, they have become intelligent beings. And they're now, demonstrating their ability to make their own choices and to think for themselves and to ask intelligent questions. So, for those of you young men and women that are sitting in the audience, and I'm not going to call you children, I'll call you young men and women, let me just pretend that your dad is talking to you, or your mom is talking to you in this khutbah. I'm going to pretend I'm talking to my own kid while I'm giving this khutbah. And I'm not on a mimbar, I'm sitting at home just having a chat with my child. And how do I tell them to pray? The first thing I want to start by saying is there was a time, my dear, that I didn't know you, and you were not relevant to me. You didn't exist, I didn't care about you, never thought about you, you were nothing to me. Lam yakun shay'an madhkura. Quran says there was a time in the life of a human being where he was not remembered at all. And including me, I didn't remember you, I didn't know what your name was going to be, I didn't love you at all because you were zero to me, nothing to me. But then all of a sudden you came in my life. And even when I found out that your mom is going to give you birth while she was holding you in her belly, and even the mom, I used to wonder what you're going to be like, but I had no idea. I had no clue. Part of me was scared you'd be like me, but I had no idea what you would be like. And even as you were growing up, when you were a baby, I still didn't really know you. I knew that you need to be fed and sometimes you smell really bad. Other than that, I didn't know much about you. I had to clean you and feed you, but I didn't know much about you. And now that you're growing up and we can talk and communicate now, and you're going to school and we live in the same house, I just want you to know that this relationship wasn't always there. And I also want you to know that this relationship will not always be there. We have very little time together. We don't have a lot of time together. And very soon, you're going to become an adult. You're on the way to becoming an adult. It's not very far away. In fact, when you were a baby till now, feels like a month. Like blink my eyes and you became this thing. And before you know it, you're going to be an adult, you're going to go to university, you're going to get a job, you're going to get married. All these things are going to happen, inshallah, if Allah wills. And when that happens, it's not going to be like this. You're not going to come home to me. You're not going to spend time with me. You're going to have your job, your family, your wife, your husband, whatever. You're going to have your own life. So the time that we do have together is very limited. And even in that time, you've got school, I've got work, I've got groceries to do, so we have like 20 minutes in a day where we can actually have a conversation. We have very little time actually together. And when you get older, the thing you will remember about me are those few moments we have together, because we don't have 24 hours together. We just don't. So now, the first thing I want you to know is that I barely know you. I barely know. I know we live together, but I barely know you. You know why? Because no human being can truly know another human being. You don't tell me everything you're thinking, and I don't tell you everything that I'm thinking. But there's someone who knew you even when you were nothing to me. And someone who loved you even when nothing in this creation loved you. No one in this creation loved you. And someone who will have a relationship with you, even though my relationship with you is going to change. Many of the adults sitting here, even me as a dad, I know my relationship with my dad when I was a kid was different, and my relationship with him when I was in college was different, and my relationship with him now is completely different. Even though we're the same people, our relationship has completely changed. But there is someone who has loved you and has protected you and has planned for you and has taken care of you from the beginning. And will always do so. And that's not me. I'm just an episode in your life. I'm not more than that. It's a beautiful episode that Allah gave you and me together, but it's not a permanent episode. That's the first thing I want you to know. The second thing I want you to know is when I tell you to pray or tell you to do something, you feel like I'm controlling you. I'm bossing you around. I'm telling you what to do. I want you to know something. I can't control you. I can give you advice. I can be strict with you sometimes. That's true. But pretty soon you're going to get old enough where no matter how hard I yell and no matter how much I raise my voice and how frustrated I get, it won't matter because you're going to make your own choices. You're going to say, okay, Dad, I'll talk to you later. Okay, I gotta go. I got another call. And you're just going to hang up on me and you're going to do your own thing. And in fact, most of the time, I will not have any control over the choices you make. In fact, when you're at school and you're hanging out with your friends and you're talking to your friends, I don't control any of those conversations. And if I've already given you an iPad or a phone or whatever, and you're communicating with your friends, I have no control over the kinds of communications you're having. And even if I put parenting control apps on these devices, I still can't control what you're really thinking and what you're really doing. I can have some control, but I have very limited control. But there's someone who controlled every cell in your body, who controlled the microscopic fluid that you were, that made it inside the womb of your mother, that controlled the genetic sequence with which you would be created, the color of your skin, the way your hair looks, your eyes, the way your mind works, how tall and short you were going to. He controlled everything. He actually has control, I don't. I'm reminded of something the Prophet ﷺ told his daughter Fatima radiallahu anha. He said, Ya Fatima bint Muhammad, ittaqillah fa inni la amliku laki min Allahi shay'a. Fatima, daughter of Muhammad, be mindful of Allah. I will have no authority with Allah in your case. Which brings me to my next point. Because I don't have control, the truth is, as protective as I am of you and I want you to do good, I don't control that and I'm not responsible for it either. Allah made every human being responsible for themselves. No, you see that if you get a driver's license one day and you cut a traffic light and the cop pulls you over, you're not going to say, can you talk to my dad? You're going to have to deal with that yourself. When your university professor is going to fail you in the class, you're going to say, hold on, let me call my mom. Nope, you're responsible yourself. In the court of law, you're responsible yourself. At the university, you're responsible for yourself. At your job, you're responsible for yourself. For your health, what you put in your body, you're responsible for yourself. For putting yourself in danger and hurting yourself, you're responsible for yourself. The older you're getting, the more freedom you have, the more responsible for yourself you are. You cannot be controlled by anyone and no one else is responsible for you. لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. Nobody will carry anybody else's burden. I am actually not responsible for you because Allah will, and on Judgment Day, absolutely, every one of us will come in front of Allah alone. Right now we're together, we live together, we're a family, we hug each other, I love you to death, I think about you all the time, but there's a day coming where we're going to be just as alone as we ever were in our existence. In fact, even if you come running to me at Judgment Day, it could happen that I'm going to run away from you. I don't know you, get away from me. I got my own issues right now. Because my relationship with you was these few microseconds compared to my relationship with Allah, which is a much bigger relationship. It's a lot older and it's going to last a lot longer.